Oh, is that cute? Could you listen to this question? Her 4-year-old son made for her a sticker chart. Every time she listens to him, he gives her a sticker. Don't you love it? Yes, there is something wrong with following through on a chart like that, but it's adorable that he tried. You didn't follow through, right? Anytime you listen to him, he will put a sticker on your chart. All right, but the idea that whatever communication skills we have, our kids will use for us. I told this to you one day, the kid said to me, Mommy, look at me. I'm going out to play now, either from the front door or from the side door. He was giving me choices, great communication skills. I gave him a very big hug and I said, oh my, you want to go outside and play? Not today. Into bed you go. But yes, if you're a good communicator, your kids will be a good communicator. If you, whatever skills you use, your kids will use in every way possible. It's okay. One mother called me and she was telling me how much guilt she had around her parenting. Really, like, I think that today's class is a great example of it. I'm so excited that Jessica's taking this class with us because Jessica tells me she's a health coach. So it was so sweet what you said to me. So basically you can't eat anything. That's how many years did it take for you to learn that? I don't know. It took a few years to become a health coach. This nutrition class that I'm giving right now used to be the loudest, noisiest class. Okay, I am giving classes for 18 years. And oh my God, it's a bunch of baloney. If you give your kids chocolate, they're not going to listen. Come on. What does it have? Like to like blue in the face to explain the connection between food and behavior. It was like revolutionary. And that if you fed the kids whole grains, they would behave better. Today, I don't think we have to give that class. You all know that. Does it help that we know that?
No, but you can say that. It helps. I feel like it's good for us to like reinforce.
I'm gonna teach you how to reinforce it, and I just don't want to make you bigger control freaks than you already are around the food, because I think that's the more educated we are around the food, not the healthier our kids eat, the more anxious we are about how our kids eat. And I want our kids to feel like I'm a healthy eater. I make good choices. I can control my food. All of us, if you all sat here and told me your food song, we all have a different food truth. Yeah? You know my food song, right?
No. Like your values of food.
My beliefs around food. Yeah, what I know about food. So you guys know that my journey started with food. I spoke about it here? No? Oh, I lost 200 pounds. Wow. I lost almost 200 pounds over the last 18 years. I celebrated. Right. Yeah, I was huge.
That's like 2 people. Do you have a picture?
I really have to bring a picture of last class. I have to remember. I lost a lot of weight. Because I am what I consider a food addict, which is not the typical what the people there. I do away Overeaters Anonymous. I just celebrated 18 years of sobriety last year in September. So I eat fruit and vegetables and protein. Weighed out, yes.
So I consider myself a foodie and emotional eater also.
Yeah, but not a food addict.
I can't tell.
I had like a variety of emotions that went like this. My emotions were hungry or full, and I was never full. That was it. I was never sad. Everything was my shirt. It was all fine. I was eating nonstop around the clock. I am a really low bottom food addict. It's okay. That's my truth. If I eat one, I will not stop eating. As long as I don't have. People thought I was insane. My husband passed away, and the first thing I did was call my food sponsor and say to her, it's dinner time, but I want to have a meal after I come home from I can't believe I did. That's a miracle. I want to have a meal. We do an egg and a piece of bread when you come home from the Beit HaKfaros. Can I have dinner now and do that later? She said, yeah. But I don't make any food choices by myself. It's like somebody that takes responsibility for my food. I have sponsees that call me. It's a 12-step program. Like it with from food addiction, like AA. It's like, yeah, I am an alcoholic when it comes to food. It's okay. It's absolutely a riot. But I am very, very careful when it comes to my food. Every night at a certain time, I take out my food notebook. I write down what I'm eating the next day. Everything I eat gets weighed on a digital scale. So how does that help me with my kids? So in the beginning, I wrote this workshop, foods we want to avoid, like the whole 9 yards, like what's good food, what's not good food. And I did a lot of this. And then I learned that Hashem is in charge of everybody. It was like a new concept for me, that like food, like what do we know? And everything that we know, how much does it help? And what are the messages I want to give my kids around food and their bodies? And that amuna that I have, just like all of you and me, we figured it out when it comes, most of us figured it out when it comes to the food. And I'll go off topic for a second. I just spoke now for Baina Olam. They had a major event. They treated all the women that raised almost $2,000. You ever know about this? In some place with 800 women. And somebody spoke, oh yeah, I would love, you know about it from the Ami magazine. Oh, Rory. Yeah. Yeah. And she was explaining about food and women's cycles. So interesting. It was so validating. She was saying that, did you hear her speak about that? About women's bodies, that women have every cycle, a woman goes through spring, fall, winter, and summer. And in every one of those seasons, like around your cycle, around your period, every one of those seasons, you're needing different foods, and how to respect your body and what it needs. And like fascinating. And I do believe that if I can give you a parenting workshop on food, it would be around you finding your truth about, and everybody, by the way, the more I take this class, the more I cringe from giving this class, because every one of your kids has a different truth about what foods are poison for them and what foods are good for their bodies. And what we want to have is amuna, trust that our children will figure it out. The kids get obese very young because the child obesity is off the charts, because the quality of the food and the food that the kids have around is horrible. It's not good food. So there's a lot going on. So the more that I just want to have a house where it's a happy home, a minimal around of rules, like not like I'm not making food fights all day. And just like having this happy balance where like I trust you, go inside yourself, and a little bit of rules. That's really what I want to do. Developing healthy self-control. As parents, we're responsible to help our children stay healthy. Yes.
So what do you do? Like I have a hunch that like one of my kids is celiac, like I have to get her tested. But I already a few years ago put her on a diet at the time.
And you can't really put a kid on a diet.
But because I thought it was like stunting her growth.
Right.
So I
Right.
was doing all these things, but
Right.
like it's actually affecting her.
Right.
And so I'm thinking I'm doing her a favor, but after like a month of holding back eggs, sugar.
Right.
Gluten.
Right. She's trying to control her kids' food diet.
She went along with that. It got to the point where the teachers thought it was crazy. And I'm like, I couldn't handle the like, one thing if I'm training my child, but then it's getting everybody in the environment to kind of like.
Right. Now, God forbid if this was a peanut allergy.
Right.
Right. The school would work with you if you had that kind of confidence. So what do you do? Right. So this is what the question is about. I want that my kids mostly are seeing me sit down to a beautiful meal. My house, thank you, Hashem, is a very healthy home. Mariella comes to me on Tuesdays. There's fresh salmon with a good mushroom sauce. There's cabbage, eggplant, sweet potato, baked apple, and a kabuchi soup. You know, my kabuchi is my favorite squash. Kabacha, you know what it is? It looks like a pumpkin with like a punch in the middle. I like it. A little bit of an orange tinge on the outside, but it's not a pumpkin. It's like green. So that's make a soup out of kabacha, a lot of fresh garlic, a vegetable salad, there's protein and vegetables and that's a little bit of carbs. That's what I'm cooking. That's what I'm serving. It's like a love letter from Hashem, the food. It's gorgeous. It has every color and every kind. And my kids see me and my husband eating healthy, gorgeous, delicious, happy food. For Purim, I don't know if any of you are anti-beef, but I'll get like a nice piece of like a rib steak. And the kids will rub it. And it's like, it's our Betsy for Purim. They call it Betsy, Betsy the cow. It's like a big thing in the middle of the table. That's like the really exciting part of Purim. And the junk comes in and the junk comes out. And thank you, Hashem. I haven't eaten it in many years. And the junk that comes in the house, right? I don't want to be doing a food fight. Any of you that have a television in the house that are busy trying to control screen time, it's a fight. You're fighting. I don't want to be doing fighting. It's the same idea. So it comes in the house, I will buy it. Anyone that wants to sell me the junk, I buy it and I throw it in the garbage can. Because even the squirrels won't eat it. I show the kids, you go outside in the front, put the candy out in the bag, come back tomorrow. The squirrels will look at it and they won't eat it. It's not food. It's not roy lachilas keleb. A dog won't eat it. It's not considered food. I'll buy it from them. But if they're eating it, I don't say, ew, it's junk. How could you eat that? It's gross. I just say, it's good. It's yummy. Enjoy it. I want to like mindful eating. It's sweet. It's sour. I try. So am I going to limit it? Right. So how are we going to limit? Are we limiting it? How are we limiting it? I don't have all the answers. I want to have an attitude. That's more than answers. Yes.
Like, how do we teach them self-control? Because like my kids, like if they're around it, they'll eat like as much as they could.
Right.
Not that they're like obese or anything, but like it's just not healthy. And, like,
They'll go back to it. I'll explain to them. Do you guys know that there is an entire industry? They make millions of dollars. They figure out what poison they can put into that candy that will make it v'achalta. You eat it and there's no vasavata, no full, there's no vayrachta. You don't bench because you never get full. Do you know how much money they make to put poison in there? You know, certain kind of crackers that you can't stop eating? Or I said, yeah, let me check. Yeah, it has MSG in there. You know what MSG is? They want to make money off you. Like, we don't let them here. I try to like clean out as much of it as possible. Buy some of it off them. I'll say you could pick 3 and the rest go in the garbage. You can set rules around them, but I'm not like clawing it out of their hands and like throwing it out. And I try, if they're waking up in the middle of the night, they're not seeing me eat it. For me, like that's the most important part of this. Like, because if you haven't won the food fight yet, then how are they?
So you're buying it and you're like, truck it?
I can offer to buy it. If your kids are eating, if they're getting packaged, wow, that's a lot of candy. Pick 3 and the rest we give away. Yeah.
I like candy.
Good.
I like cake and my kids watch me eat it, but I don't over it. I think even for me.
I wish you guys can see this woman face on screen because you're comfortable around it.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, look.
It's like I think
It's with a limit. Good.
They say you eat it.
And it's not horrible for you. No.
I really enjoy it.
Good. And you're not sick afterwards, really. No.
No, so like
It's
I have it in moderation.
good.
It feels good.
So everybody has a different food truth. My food truth is that if I eat 1 cookie, I really don't care what happens to anybody in this world. I want another 40. I cannot stop eating. That's how I got that big. So for me, it's poison. For you, it might not be. I'm trying to be much more open-minded. I see some people, they do great with candy corn. And I'll tell you the cutest thing now. We have 12 kids, right? Friday found this nutritionist that she loves. She gets like 2 pieces of chocolate for Shabbos. She gained, let's say, 40 pounds. Can I know she has 4 babies, 1, 2, 3, 4. She says like, Mom, if I keep going on like this, I don't know what's going to be. Okay. So now I'm going to put away. So now I want to learn about food. Curious, not like I hate myself. And then she found this nutritionist, a lot of fun, taught her some interesting facts. There's certain bakeries in Brooklyn that make like a zucchini something that's good. And she did the research on different muffins and cookies and this. And she's like, I'll buy like a cheesecake. She says, I'll have like for 2 months, I'll have a cheesecake in the house. Every Shabbos, I'll have a little slice. I would cry. I could never do that. And Rudy, my stepdaughter, now she's like, Mom, this is a nutritionist for her. And they're both in cahoots together. It really, really works. My Chaim Shlomo, that's 16, now also lost over 80 pounds. Thank you, Hashem. He's a big emotional eater. His father passed away, always had a weight issue. His father passed away, gained a lot of weight, and he went off of carbs. Mommy, you know, I'm like you. I eat one cookie, I can't stop, and I can't learn, and I want to learn, and I can't concentrate. It's affecting my mind. A celiac kid, teach them the truth about foods for them, and then give them choices. One of my neighbors has a kid with pandas. And if you have panda kids, you know what pandas is? It's like strep in the blood. It's really bad. It's very difficult, strep. And if you're going to have sugar or food coloring, you're going to be, or dairy, you're going to be crazy. And the kid's not behaving. And she took her kid off it. And it's working. I remember one of my kids, you know that story? I was washing organic peppers and peeling them red, green, I don't know, gorgeous peppers, very expensive. She said, I love it when I get it for snack. It took me a few months. What do you like about it? I never see you eating peppers. I know, Ma, it trades for the best snacks. All that work and all that money and all that, you can't just throw it in the bag the night before. You really, like, we have a limited amount of control, and I just don't want it to be very stressful around the food. So what our children eat has a profound connection to the way they behave. And we want to avoid toxins. Any of you know what toxins are? We all know what this is, right? This is very basic, right? Food additives, they you know, when they give rats in the laboratories MSG, the rats die. They die, it kills them. It's poison. It's only approved because of heavy, we call it shaykhad, bribery. You know all this. Yes.
If any of you want to know how much MSG affects your food, go to Chosen One and tell them to make your food with no MSG. My kids are like, this is disgusting, where they fight over it if it has MSG. Like, just try it one time. It's not
Right.
gonna taste good at all. You'll see like the impact. That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, we'll do the brown rice noodle, the instant soup. You know, the kids love the noodle soup. So, you know, they have one with brown rice pasta with no MSG in it. Some of the kids will eat it. Some of the kids will not. I don't want to make a war. I want to educate the kids. I want to empower them. I want them to enjoy their food. I don't want them to be sneaking behind my back. You know, I work a lot with eating disorders. Like, I don't want to focus on it too much.
That's what kills me. If you tell them you only have 3 pieces, then I'm scared they're gonna hide it and they're gonna have it at night when I'm not around, you know what I'm saying? The
think it
whole-
depends
the
on the
limiting the number, if you put a number to it, that's crazy.
Right. And I want you to know that I trust you much more than I trust me. I don't know your kid. It's so interesting. If I could tell you that with the younger kids now, my stepdaughter taught them about a serving size because their mother was such an educator. She educated, like, machanach. And my kid's like, Ma, what's the serving size? They're all like counting the crackers of like how many it has in a serving. Like they never had that education. I'm gonna a little bit. I want to know what I want to know, and then I want to like give you all, empower you to balance it. Carbohydrates, you know that, right? It's like anytime you're eating pure carbs, it's first a high and then a low. I'm like embarrassed speaking for you. You can do the whole thing by yourself, right? Anytime I would like my kids to have complex carbohydrates, because I show them that complex carbohydrates, when you're eating a sweet potato or even a white potato with a peel or a whole grain pasta, or I like the quinoa, kasha, brown rice. These are gorgeous whole grains. When you eat them, your body is like, you take a bite and then your body is like, oh, okay, I have some protein, I have some fiber, I have some such, let me all separate it and put everything in the right basket. And I tell them, but the body gets energy like straight. When you're eating chocolates, licorice, jelly beans, your body is getting a high and then a low. Or the kids want the white bread, the really ugly white bread, you know, they're like, right? And I tell them that's like, it's like kosher glue. it just, all it does is like stick to your body without giving you anything for it. You get like a happy for a little bit and then you go crashing right back down. I want a slow release of energy. On the other hand, we know that if you're going to try to limit carbohydrates, you will make a bigger problem than you have. Trans fat. Yeah, I always say, I think that it's interesting. People change their minds about a lot of stuff, but these are the basics. Toxins, carbohydrates. We don't want we don't want bad fats like frying, whip, margarine, anything that you're buying that's is all full of trans fat. I show the kids that we have, this is yours. Which one's mine? Which one's yours? Jessica.
Oh,
I just don't want to, I want to color mine, not yours.
it's both empty.
They're both empty, okay. I show my kids that this is called neurons. I think it's just like, this is like a part of like fun educating. What's considered a normal serving size. Okay, so I show them like this. Neurons, see this? These are nerves in the body. It's so interesting. Let's say if I'm in the middle of speaking and someone in the corner is chewing. So how my brain is gonna hear chew, 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 chew. And like, and then I'm gonna like turn and say, oh, someone's eating. Or let's say you step on my foot. So how does my foot know to move? Because there's nerves in the body that whisper to each other. It's like a mail system. Like someone's on my foot, someone's on my foot, someone's on my foot, someone's on my foot, till it gets to the brain. And then the brain says, so move your foot, move your foot, move your foot. Okay, how does my brain know to move? Back, back, back. Oh, I'll move my foot. But it happens really, 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 really fast. What's the mailman? The mailman is essential fatty acids. Avocado, walnuts, oil, salmon. If they're taking any kind of a good, healthy oil supplement, I'm crazy about coconut oil. It's great for my body. The solution to every problem in my house is coconut oil. I eat 2 tablespoons a day. I smear it on my skin, and if anything hurts you anywhere, I go put coconut oil. It doesn't work for everyone. Some people get rashes from it. For my body, it's good. It's a great fat. For right now, it might change its mind after a while. You have to eat avocado oil. Any of these good oils, it's like the mailman that goes between one neuron and the other. They don't touch. Just like a liquid that flows through them. Your Rebbe is saying something in class. You're trying to listen and to understand what you see. His mouth is moving. He's showing something on the board. How are you going to understand what he's saying? The more oil you have in your brain, the better I'm going to understand, the better you'll understand what he's saying. It's the mailman that goes back and forth. Now, the trick is when you eat the wafers from it, those wafers full of trans fat, like you can feel it in my skin reacts to it. When I pack it for a snack, my skin gets funny from it. It's not good. Or when I'm frying something, or when he wants to use the oil to fry twice, it's like really, what happens is it goes in between the neurons and it steals the trans fat, like steals the good fat. So I'm educating my kids like this all the time. You want to hear something really cool? Like, this is the truth about trans fat. There are fats that are not good and not bad, and then there are good fats. I tell the kids we want to have the most good fat: fish oil, avocado, salmon, raw, like that. Now, I never want to use food to reward my kids. Is that a hard one?
Yeah, I'm thinking, what in school?
I know.
But the Rebbe's get candy like
It's a real drug. It really works, right? And look how much love we send with food. When I came to every one of your houses, we all felt so taken care of. Even if I didn't eat any of it, just watching it, it's like, oh, thank you so much for taking such good care. There's food around. Food equals to love. Food, every simcha comes with a lot of food. And every, by the way, I work not only with Jews, and they all say, oh, you don't even know the Mexicans. You don't even, every community, they say, like, everyone's love language is food. Maybe not the Asians. I don't know. But like, that's just the way it goes. I don't want to reuse what? Just from 12-step communities. I don't work with them on purpose. I like to work with people with a neshama, with the soul. But if it happens, like sometimes I just end up,
Could you tell us also what made you want to lose weight? Like, how did you hit rock bottom? Like, Like what made
You want to hear the rock bottom story? It's off the topic, but it's a good story. I'll tell you about it. I'll tell you. Now. I was 25 years old. I had at that point, right, a 4-year-old and 2 2-year-olds and a tiny little preemie baby, Brandy, the one that just got married now. I was over 350 pounds. I was nursing her and I had to get up off the chair. And I couldn't get up with a baby in my hand. I was too big. And I put her on the floor and I stepped on her. And could you imagine? I called Hatzalah and I knew for sure they would take the kid away. I figured that's it. But the Hatzalah member was also very heavy. Thank you, Hashem. That's the truth about the story. And he said to me, honey, if I take you to the hospital, they're going to take your kid away. I'm going to stay with you. And he said to me, the baby is tiny and it's made out of cartilage. The bones are still cartilage. Don't worry about it. And I waited and everything went back to normal. And as soon as the Hatzalah member left, what did I do? I ate more. You know about food addiction. That's what it means to be an addict. I went straight in and I went to eat more. Yeah, that's really, and my story I say a lot in the victories is that I had someone in the house at that point trying to help me out. And she kept on talking about my food victories. And I really felt very much that that was, but that story was stepping on my baby. That was a pretty big bottom. By the time she was a year old, I tried. That's when I had my day one. And that, that was really it. And it was magic because I learned that for me, once I understood, I learned that for me, if I have one, it will kill me. And if I have none, I will be okay. One of my sponsors just told me that she's sitting around in a circle. She celebrated a year. And one of her friends said, you want to tell me you haven't had a slice of pizza in a year? And she said, honey, I haven't had a slice of pizza my whole life. I eat a pie. I don't eat a slice. It's the real, but I learned as I matured in my mind that just because carbohydrates are poison for me, it doesn't mean that it's poison for everybody. Everybody has their own food truth. For sure. Like, I'm very careful about my kids' bodies. They should just feel gorgeous, adorable, and stunning. I hug them. I feel all the lumps and bumps. Most of my kids are really heavy, like 2 uniforms together. A lot of them. It's precious. And I'm like, you're going to figure it out. I'm not worried. And every kid finds their own truth in a very interesting way. Some kids find that if they have a fresh, smooth, blended fruit in the morning, they're good for the day. Some people find if I eat carbs, I'm tired, I can't. Some people are like protein. For some people, it's organic. Some of the kids like, if it's not very fresh and organic, I don't feel good from it. Yes.
So what types of experiences in childhood would lead to like a food obsession and unhealthy relationship?
I can tell you really amazing. I've sat by hundreds of Overeaters Anonymous meetings with people that suffer from food addiction. And they all get up on it's called a qualification. You say your experience, your strength, and your hope, what it was like, what it's like now, and what you hope for the future. They also say, I grew up in a home where mom controlled all the candy. I ever tell this to you? Yeah. I grew up in a home where my mother controlled everything in my house. The day I got married, the first day I went to college, the first time I was on my own, I went to the store and I bought every kind of chocolate and I sat down and I ate it. If my mother would have given me more access to food, I wouldn't have been a food addict. The next person gets up and says, I grew up in a home where I was neglected. There was an unlimited amount of garbage in my house. Therefore, in the beginning of recovery, everyone blames their parents. Then you grow up and you learn that it's not your parents' fault. But yes.
So what is in a situation where your kids are young, they do see that, think I have a healthy home.
Yeah.
And when they do get cancer, which is really everywhere in the
Yes.
schools and the birthday parties,
Right.
they really get sick for the next couple of days with fevers or this or that. Can you be strong, or having a root canal, can you be strong on that and say, this is our rule, we throw it out? Because when I do that, then thank God they don't suffer. But then otherwise, like you said, I don't want them to feel deprived. Like even with snack, my oldest daughter said.
How old's your oldest?
My oldest is 11. So for example,
Wow.
because
Anyone can explain that?
that's the day you don't have a choice now. You have to go to everyone's like on your class.
like, wait, where's the light switch? Outside?
Somebody just shut off the lights, I think.
No, it's a timer usually.
So I want to answer her question. You can hear me?
So, right, so for example, with my oldest daughter, she was saying, well, the friends have snacks, I don't really need the snack, but I don't want to feel different. So I made a thing that we get snacks just for school. And
Right.
so at this point, I put it in my car and I locked the door so that my 5-year-old like, if there's one of the guys who keep it all in the day, but is that causing?
So first of all, I find that a lot of mommies, when their oldest is 4, 5, they can really make a sweet, safe, fun, candy-free home without anyone really recognizing what's going on, right? I cannot see your face, it's making me nuts. Okay, yeah, okay, better. Like, you can actually do that without any push or pull, right? If the kid comes, oh, thank you, Asha. Kid comes home and says, I want to have normal snack like everybody. I will get them normal snack like everybody. I will keep it in the sewing room with the lock so that when everyone goes to bed at night, I pack snack for everybody. When they get up in the morning, they pack a snack and they go. I'm not having this food fight with my kids. I'm not pushing it, I'm pulling it. Again, I'm gonna offer. Right.
Do you at that point say, well, this is our rule, you throw it in the garbage right away?
How do they deal with it when you do that?
And they'll probably, I haven't done it that much, they'll probably cry. I only did it with my oldest.
I'm so sorry. Can you repeat what she's saying? We can't hear her.
Okay, she's talking about the fact that her kids are coming home. Now we have a light, hello. Yeah, when the kids come home, thank you. When the kids come home from school or a birthday party with so much candy, can't she say, it's the rule in our house, we throw it in the garbage? I want you to know that I trust you on this one. You know, what do you do if it's not kosher? What? You throw it out, you replace it with something that is, right? Maybe. Yeah, but ask. You give it away, you dump it in the garbage, it's not kosher. So some of you do that and it's okay. And for some of you, it's not okay. For sure, if the kid is crying and hugging her thing that she got from somebody, like if it was, if it wasn't kosher, you would say, come, let's throw it in the garbage. We're going to buy you a kosher one later. You want to do that and say, we'll buy you a healthy one later. Your daughter saying, I don't mind having different snacks, but I'm embarrassed. Right?
Right, so that, I guess, we settled, but then when they come home and they're so excited with all these different.
When they come home and so excited with all the different, now some of you, by the way, you say, oh, how cute. My husband is like, you can let them eat all of it. And I'm like, just leave it, don't worry. And then they put it on the table and then we color it, we trade it, we smell it, we weird it, and then they go in and I throw the whole thing in the garbage can. My kids are not so emotionally attached to it. If I started pulling it away, I would be creating an attachment that's not there. If you want it later, you can have it later. If you want it tomorrow, there'll be another one tomorrow. There isn't this like that around there. But I, for example, at this point, figure it out. There's a Shabbos drawer. Whatever they want, they can buy for Shabbos. It goes in the drawer. If they forget about it. And if they want it, great. And I am having a harder time now because I'm a grandmother and I have 6 grandkids. And I love to be the lollybobby. It's so fun. I walk through the door and they're like so excited to see me. They love me, but they also love. So we just went out to bring over supper to my daughter. And I said, and my grandson said, I was dry all day today. She's toilet training. And I said, okay, I'm going to buy you a grogger for Perl. He's all excited about the grogger for Perl. I tried to do prizes, to be a funny Bobby. I can put the glasses on my nose. I know how to do a turn the thing the other way and make funny faces. We can sing songs. We can dance. I'd rather give them every other sensory besides for their mouth. I try, but also with my kids. Like I like to have a cake plate on the table with cake. I try. I really do the whole spelt flour when I bake, the whole grain flour. I'll use a healthier sweetener. I'll use honey, or I'll speak a little bit about like no trans fat. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. What? Maple syrup.
What does trans fat do?
Trans fat eats up your essential fatty acids. The kids are usually, what?
It's the messenger.
It eats the messenger up. So that liquid that goes from one nerve to the other, that the more you have in there, the smarter you are, the calmer you are, it eats that up. Speak to my son that will eat 3 food groups, potato kugel and potato chips. That's about it. You know, no matter what you send him to school, it's fancy. Let's say if I go to an event and I'll bring him some fancy thing, he trades it for potatoes. All he wants is fried potatoes. That's it. My 14, the men are like that, no? My 14-year-old son is frying French fries for himself twice a week.
I didn't know that the fatty acids, no, sorry, am I saying the right thing?
Essential, what?
No,
Tra-
the healthy fats.
Yeah.
I didn't know the healthy fats can be calmer.
Oh, yes.
That's so cool.
Avocado, salmon. Shackley sells a great fish oil. It's like $1 a piece, but you can see the difference in the kids' brains.
What's the name of it?
The Shackley, it's like a taffy. Shackley is a company.
How do you spell it?
Shackley, 2 E's at the end. Don't ask me how to spell.
I sell Shackley if anyone's interested, by the way.
You know what taffies I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
There's 2
But I
Shackley
don't give them to my
that I
kids.
love. One is stress relief from Shackley. I know my friend tells me that before she wants to talk to her husband about money, she makes him take one, and then she waits 20 minutes and she can talk to him. That's stress relief from Shackley. It's amazing for some people's bodies. And the taffies, they weren't kosher for a while. Now they're better, right? You know what I'm talking
They're
about?
not yet, not all of them. The one that's made for kids is not kosher at the moment, but they're working on it.
Because it was for a while, then it wasn't anymore. What? Fish oil. Go, you can see on your kid's skin a couple of days in. They'll eat it. Yeah. Remember cod liver oil? Any of your grandmothers did cod liver oil? And they were saying that it was very healthy for a lot of different things. Yeah, when I'm trying to help people off psychiatric medication, the psychiatrist will lower the dose, and then the patient is not doing well, and then up the dose because it didn't work. But I do something. I add a tablespoon of. I'll never do this without a psychiatrist, but with it, when the psychiatrist lowers the dose, I say no. She's saying to go down from 50 milligrams, from 100 milligrams to 50 milligrams. You're gonna get back on it. It's too fast. Your brain is not going to be able to do it. So I add in essential fatty acid a lot every day. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you take the full dose. Thursday, you're going to cut it in half. Friday, Shabbos. Next week, we're going to cut it in half 2 days. Next week, we're going to cut it in half 3 days. Do it slower and add a lot of essential fatty acid. People are more successful in being able to lower the medication. Yes.
Do you know about for ADD, what foods are good for that, help with focus?
I find that most kids that are ADD, if they're getting amazing essential fatty acid and they're not eating food coloring, dairy, wheat. The whole wheat is terrible for a lot of these kids. And sugar, it does help. However, if the kid's ADD, it's impossible to get them off these foods. Sometimes, once they're on the meds, it's then possible to get them off these foods and then to work on it like that. I believe in you really have to work on it on both. You have to work it on both ends.
But what's good to give? Not what's not good for you. Is there anything that's good for them to give?
Well, the good healthy fats also, I find that these kids are so sensitive. If they have a good bowel movement, it really helps them clean out. So any of the greens, when I'm giving the kids green food, I'm telling them, I show them the steel wool. I used to wash out the pots. I tell them, this is our kosher steel wool. I eating greens, raw carrots, any fresh raw beets, turnips, all the good fiber food. And I'm like, this is the best steel wool, or a fresh fruit smoothie in the morning. So you do that, or at night before they go to bed, a fruit. And everyone's body is different. For some of their bodies, it's terrible. For some of the bodies, it's really good. Just clean. It scrubs it out. It cleans it out. My stomach is hurting. Yay! Thank you, Hashem. I love stomach aches. You know what that means? We're getting ready to get rid of a bunch of garbage that doesn't belong in your body. You'll feel much better. You know, the whole detox system, water. I personally like the Kirkland alkalizing water. I found we drink a lot of it, it makes such a big difference.
How do you make your fruit juice instead of,
The smoothies, I have a Vitamix.
no, just fruits, just like plain fruits, nothing, no like almond milk or?
Some of the kids, they don't do well with the dairy. Some of them are fine with it. Some of the kids, I could use it, I'll throw in a tablespoon of a good green powder. And it goes great. Some of the kids, they won't go near it. Some of them are drinking it with orange juice. I don't love it, but some of my kids, the acid is terrible for them.
So it's not the sugar.
And it is a very strong sugar, the orange juice. For some of the kids, they'll drink a half a cup of orange juice.
Read the bottle, it's literally just says just like orange juice.
Okay, what do you say, Jessica?
All added sugar, if you look at the back. A lot of sugar. And I think the strawberry or blueberry, whatever fruits or vegetables you eat like raw,
Raw, right?
it's good. But then once you blend it.
What about the Vitamix?
Your body's not breaking it down, the blender's breaking it down.
No,
It adds
blending
sugar.
is good, juicing is bad, because then you take away, like,
I remember, I was on Weight Watchers once.
She was on Weight Watchers once,
And all fruits and vegetables were 0 points.
right?
And she said, blend it, add 5 points to your day.
No way.
Really?
I was like, why? She's like, because your body's not chewing, you're not chewing it, you're not like, like. it's
Right.
not-
Some of your kids are under eaters. Anyone's complaining to me, my kids don't eat? Oh.
It's always a place to go to dinner, like any meal.
Right.
Like, the most stressful part for me to have kids is feeding them. Yeah. I don't know why.
Yeah, for some kids, it's really stressful.
My kids just would eat, like sit down and eat.
Right.
Parenting would be like 8 hours.
Better, right?
Also want to sit, they walk around.
Right.
I said, once you leave the table,
Good.
and you're not hungry, I'm gonna take you to dinner.
And then later they come so hungry. Right. You know, at one point I was like, there's food, these kids are gonna be fine. I am not worrying about this. I woke up one morning at 6 a.m. and I found Amra by the fridge. I ever told you? He used to eat like a camel once in 2 days, like this, intuitive eating. Cherry tomatoes, hummus, a big thing of whole wheat crackers, under the table, half undressed, twice a week. Not even, like that was it. And he was fine. So I think that like our kids will feed themselves.
I have two questions. One is how, in your experience raising kids, how have their eating habits progressed throughout their life? Like when they were kids, like do they generally stay the same or like?
I really feel that the kids really, they become really in tune with their bodies when they start to go into adolescence. They figure it out. It's just like keep on breathing and figuring it out and figuring it out. Like right now, Heidi will come home from school, 10 years old, and say, the girls made fun of me. It's already much better. She's already grown. I already see she's starting, she's pre-adolescent. So the kids make fun of me that I'm so fat. The kids make fun of me. I'm so fat. I'm so fat. I'm so fat. I'm so fat. I don't have any friends. Nobody likes me. Cry. My shirt is wet. She cried so hard. And then she, don't tell me I shouldn't have any junk. I need the junk. Okay. And then I'll just say, and I just give her a big hug. And then she said, anyways, I love my shoes. I love my cheeks. My hair is so cute. Bye-bye. And she's out downstairs playing with all her friends. It's over. And I'm left like wounded, like trying to figure it out for the rest of the day. And then she's back by the junk. I'm not the only one bringing food in the house. I'm on a completely different stage than you're in. I have 2 daughter-in-laws and 2 sons and a 26-year-old stepson coming in later at night. They're hungry. But I can't only cater an environment like you guys for a young family. When I had just a young family, it was very different. I was able to control it much, much more than I can control it now. My goal is that the kids should eventually have self-control. So the snacks, the chips, I really try. There should be amazing options in my house. I have, let's say, I have rolls of raw cookie dough. So I have the healthier ones, I have the not healthier ones, like gefilte fish rolls. Hey, I'm coming over, great. I'll open up the freezer, I'll put it in a bag, I'll slice it, it's in the oven, they come. I want them to have fresh warm when they walk in my house. I want it to be that kind of a place, but I don't have the cookies ready. It's dough, I'll slice it and I'll cook it, and I'll bake it. And if I could, I'll have one kind of, the bottom line is, I always tell Haidina, you're a smart kid, you're adorable. You can figure it out. I am not worried. You're asking me a question. Do I see a correlation with how they eat when they're little to how they eat when they're older? Really, really not. Really, really not. My brothers that were the pickiest eaters, the underweight, my mother used to sob, are 400-pounders now. Huge. Like, I don't see any correlation whatsoever, but good body image, comfortable with eating, hostessing, serving, smelling. The food is such a sensory experience. I love my kids to see an egg white that can be made into snow. How much love Hashem puts on this world with food. A mindful eating. I'll put a plate, I'll say, look how beautiful, dearest Perl, I love you. Do you see that? Hashem is sending me a love letter on my plate. Every color in the rainbow. More focusing on mindful. Can you smell the cumin? Isn't it interesting? Okay, everyone should tell me. I put a secret ingredient and I made 3 slices, 3 different flavors salmon. There's 3 different ingredients here. Pick which one you like best. Like more like, yeah, then like,
What, like, more like describing.
yes, more about sushi. I do a lot of table setting, family time around the table, being involved in which napkin should we use? Is there salt? Is there a pitcher of water on the table? Should we use these glasses or these glasses or these glasses? More about like hosting family time than like gorging.
You do that in a weeknight with like your kids and your
You
stepkids?
do
like, set up the
not
table and
have
eat
to
dinner?
set the table for dinner,
No,
please,
what do you do in
but
your-
I do.
What?
I do.
Really?
Mhm.
What time do you like eat dinner?
Okay, dinner time. What do you all do for dinner
But
time?
there's, each kid comes different time.
Right.
Mine comes different time. I can't do that. 'cause
Right.
mother's school,
Right.
And so how do you do that?
Right. So do I do that? So I serve a formal dinner at 7:00. I usually have one of the couples that come for supper. My husband comes home from learning. Then this homework going on in I have like a big window between the kitchen and there's homework going on in between. The younger kids, I try to feed them earlier.
Okay, so that's-
I do try to feed them earlier.
What's younger for you?
7,
and I'm-
11.
Right.
You know, yeah, my stepdaughter likes it when the food is hot when she comes home at 4:30. She doesn't want to eat later. It's not good for her. You don't have to cater this much. I love to. I don't feel used. I
It's a
feel
love language.
it's my love language. It's I say Tati's in school learning and I'm at home. I'm doing the same thing in my own way. Yeah.
How do you apply for that? You're a busy woman, and I find it like I only work half a day or more, and I come home at like 2:00. But
Do you know that when
I create some chicken nuggets like twice a week. It's just so easy to pop it into the oven.
I'm going to be really honest with you. I did it at the beginning. Her name is Rosie.
You do what?
Rosie does a lot of the cooking.
What does that mean?
My cleaning lady.
Oh,
She does a lot of the prepping. I do half and she does half.
that's
And we're-
all you get her to do.
The chops, the onions I chop because I have to check them. So it's a new thing also for me. My new husband. No, it's like this little black dot. I never realized. I actually found onions infested. I never knew. Yeah, after he taught me how to check. He wants after what in the middle.
So you peel it and
I
then.
slice it and then I make sure they're tightly packed because if they're looser, it's black all the way inside, curling. You know, it was very interesting. And it was more beautiful I showed my, I said, Kindle, do you know Tati?
Why would I deal with that?
You can buy frozen onions. They have frozen diced onions. You can buy frozen diced onions. Please do not feel guilty if you're serving chicken nuggets.
I think that, I was learning also at the night. It really helped me.
Well, right. The night before, I check out my ingredients. When my kids come home at 4 o'clock, I am fresh after a nap. I sleep 2 hours every afternoon. I'm up at 6 getting the kids out for chakras. And I'm in at 12 with my China husband. It's like 12, 1 o'clock. I sleep. If I don't sleep, it's not safe for anybody.
You only work till 2?
I work till 2, and I usually do an hour of yoga in the middle somewhere.
Do you feel like ever since you started eating healthier and losing all this weight, that it opened your world? to
It opened up
self-care,
my
or
world.
always somebody who-
No, I absolutely had no self-care besides for food. And it wasn't self-care, it was self-sabotage. Right? It was like, for me, food is like a plunger. It's like telling myself to shut up. Be quiet. Just don't say anything. Just eat it up. Sure.
Mine is homework.
It's, and also,
It's like my best friend.
Me
I'm like,
too.
"Hey, what are you doing right now?
me too.
Now."
Do you know why I go to sleep at night? Do you know why I go to sleep every night? I tell my husband, I'm going to sleep because tomorrow morning I get breakfast. Did you see the cantaloupe? It's on the can. I'm totally a food drunk. Food is my best friend. It's true. And that's how Hashem made me.
The lockdown killed any structure of healthy eating in my home that I had.
Not only for
Now
you.
My house is like free for all and everything, but now I'm like, okay, in my back of my mind, I'm like.
Do you
this is
know?
really bad
Right.
for your kids. Like,
Good.
This is really not good.
Good.
But I'm like, I'm still married to the like the ritual of like every morning I have like my pop in my waffles and my pancakes or whatever it is, like
Right.
easy food with my iced coffee and whatever. And I'm like, oh my God, I have to give all of that up. I know I do. And I'm the type, literally. that
Right.
It's all or nothing. Like if I go on a diet, I'm raw. I'm hardcore, like,
Right.
because I have that, like.
The extreme with the food.
Yeah, like one cookie, no. Like
Right.
one pizza, no.
Right.
Never, so that's me.
And I want you to know, food, for me, food is it's a journey. I can chew a box of gum. Anybody? I don't chew gum because I chew the box. It's just, it doesn't work for me at all. And then I'm sick, like, but I also I like food as, like I try, now I'm focused much more like 80% raw. It's better for me sometimes, but not always. So there's different, like it's a journey with the food and growing up. Guys, do you know that we're hitting 2 years since the lockdown started? 2-year anniversary. Remember? Could you believe we're up to here? We didn't think the world would be ever back, like, right? It's unbelievable. We're at 2 years now and we're ready to like put our nose back on the grind, and a lot of stuff changed. Yeah.
So you talked about food as being an addiction.
Good.
About technology in the house, like,
And food and, right?
I mean, like, in my house, when I had like newborns, I
Yes.
let my kids watch cartoons. Watch
Good,
Nerds,
right.
Then they would be unsafe, like.
Right.
They were all little,
Good.
but now that I'm not, I don't have a newborn.
Right.
Nothing.
Wow.
Very rarely, like.
I have
maybe
no,
Like Erev Shabbat, like. I have
Right.
Shower one, but like.
Right.
Very rarely. But like, I even wanna let go of that, like. Is it like, could you use it ever, or like, should you just totally cut it out?
I just know that for me, I used technology when my husband passed away to just survive in a bare way. And I believe that that's why Hashem made the technology. But my kids developed the way you talk about the waffles, it was like Uncle Moshe and the twin, and they're nuts afterwards. One of the biggest miracles in my life is that it is out of the house. I tell her, hide the smartphone. I don't want my kids to see it when she comes to the house. I don't want any technology. Am I being realistic in any way, shape, or form? Absolutely not. I don't know what. I really try to have like a parking lot before you come in my house. The smartphone stays there. No phone. I know that very soon the smartphone is going to be speaking to the fridge. Like if you're not going to have a fridge, and
Your married people thought that they would have a smartphone, they would respect that, they won't bring it in.
I asked them not to bring it in the house. People are very sensitive about it. It's super offensive. But my kids know we don't touch it. I really try, except for when the couch ripped and I need to get it fixed, and the company wants a picture of the couch. And then I'm on a smartphone, Rosie, with my cleaning girl using her phone to fix the couch. So I know that we do not have, I don't have a long-term solution, but every day that I could be shomer kedusha in my house, I could just keep it out. I'm figuring this out one more day. I don't know. I never thought, but that I do find that technology is like having like 100 pounds of chocolate in the house and saying, like having like a fountain of chocolate in the middle of my kitchen and no one's allowed to touch it. Yeah. You raising your hand? Yeah.
Sorry to go back to this. For me, one of the main things that stops me with
Yeah.
getting my home healthy is really the time component of it.
Yes, good, thank
It's
you.
much easier for me to, like, when the kids get home and
Right.
want to have a snack, to put out some pretzels or tortilla
Then
chips
let's say like
and to,
vegetable sticks.
wash and check, and, you know, like, the produce goes bad. I can't like store pretzels that use it for 3 months. I have to go to the store every like week for food.
Can you get like 4 hours of cleaning up to do that for you? That's what I do. For half of,
I would put it ever fresh.
But like,
How long was I would do that, but I would get.
I find that the
Not
pre-cut,
healthy, but it's
I find the pre-cut or the cleaning up is the same amount per hour. If you buy it in the store cut, or if you have the cleaning girl cut it for you, it's about the
I
same.
don't know if it's me, but it's so hard to find. Even if I, let's say, had the money and I could do it, it's so hard to even find it.
In Great Neck, it's hard to find the cleaning help, but you need to have the cleaning help.
If you don't have enough hours, your cleaning lady can't come more hours, so just buy the stuff from Everfresh, you would have anyway spent that on cleaning. lady.
Right. It is a lot of money. People ask about energy
But then
and
I
money.
have those things of for $8 of peppers, like my son could eat all that himself, there won't be enough for the rest of the family.
Yes.
Really helps me.
Yeah.
To get my kids' hands in there.
Wow.
I came home one day, my husband did the picture, I don't.
Uh, eh.
I think of it, I came home, they were chopping chicken legs, you know.
Right, get the kids involved with it. We're doing that next week. Yes. But she's a bunch of little ones, right? How old's your oldest?
I have 4 under 8.
She has 4 under 8. So it is definitely, it's a lot. Just cherry tomatoes. Go look for options, try.
I didn't like it, I did like vegetables.
The kiwi cucumber, it's so.
Yeah.
Costco, the spring beans.
The clementines.
There's a lot of stuff that's like easy in 1 second.
Yeah.
Try to do like a lot of vegetables, the green apple.
All the frozen produce, you open up a bag, some oil, a little bit of spices, and it's in the oven. Yeah, it's a mindset. So tonight I'm inspiring you. It's the wrong time of the year for this inspiration, by the way.
No, it's such a good time, it's so good.
Right.
It's so scary for me, always approaching Purim for this reason, because we get stuff for 1 month from Purim, so we stuff my house with tons of junk. And you're saying your kids don't realize that, like, you'll take it and throw it out. I did that one year, my son now is 8, he was like 6. He totally realized that he stored it in the bottom of the coat closet.
Right.
And he came the next morning, I just went and I took a handful from his bed,
Mhm.
and he won't be like, he totally realized.
Aw.
Where's this one, where's that one, he analyzed it.
Right.
So he knew.
He had a private stash.
That one, who took the private, he totally.
Right.
like, when everyone-
Right, so, right,
He had
right.
a big bag,
Right.
and he looked at it and analyzed it, and like.
And he put it in his room,
A
probably,
month of eating it. A month.
right.
So every year he learned to take.
Rosh Chodesh Nisan. Rosh Chodesh Nisan, it goes out of the house. It was a Pesach.
And then they get into that horrible chocolate spread that you're like, why are you eating that? Like I try to avoid it, then you go to people's homes and then they're like, all the kids are eating chocolate spread and I'm like, it's disgusting.
Right. I try, the hardest is when they're eating it to just tell them, enjoy it. I like how it smells. Oh, wow.
Why?
What? Because I want them mindful eating. If they're stuffing it down and they feel guilty, they're going to eat 4 bags. If you're actually present when you're eating it, there's a limit to how much the gut can handle it. But if you're like that, then you're going to be not mindful about eating it. I'm like, oh, wow. Oh, I like how oh, that sounds really crunchy. It pops. You know what's funny? You know the popping candies? Then they pop it in the water and then they fill the water in the garbage can. They put it in the bag, poop, it goes up. So fancy color, garbage. I want to go through the rules here. We cannot control our children's food intake. We can help them control their food, focus on victories. I want to have a lot of the right food around that's not causing more cravings. I show them this very cool thing on the tongue. It's called taste buds. Take that same salty pickle, put it here, put it here. It tastes different on all parts of your tongue. Close your eyes, feel it in all parts of your tongue, taste it, enjoy it. And I also tell them that healthy food, if you expose your tongue to something 17 times, it will get used to it. It's unbelievable. Successful cooking, right? She asked about wasting money or time. I always tell my children that successful, I am a successful mother because I cook very healthy food. I remember the pain of like using these expensive ingredients and putting together food. And then everyone said, Mommy, it's delicious, but it's not our taste. You walk to the table, I remember like this tablecloth and everyone had one bite and they all went to play. No one even ate it. And I spent so much money on it and it went into the garbage. But my husband was a cipher. He wrote, and he used to, before he wrote a pair of tefillin, he used to say a beautiful tefillah. I used to love to sit by him and watch him because he would be writing a pair of tefillin for somebody, and he would say, Hashem, please help that this tefillin, it should be a connection, that it should serve as a connection between Hashem and the person that's going to wear it, and it should be a connection that should be forever. So he's daven, and I remember telling him, that's how I want to cook. I would cook my food, and I would say, Hashem, help that this food should create a connection between my child and their creator. It should be a food that connects, not a food that disconnects. Like that's what I want. And you know, when you daven in the food, and it gives the food so much nutrition. And I am a hero. I am a successful mother because I cut up a bunch of vegetables. If they will eat it or not is up to Hashem. How long our children will live, how healthy they will be is not in our hands. Our hands is we shop the food, we chop the food, we serve the food, we feed the food, and then whatever happens, it's not up to us. I never grab away food. It's okay, by the way, for you to set boundaries with the neighbors, with the grandmothers, as much as you can. I asked my daughter, is it okay if I give the kids a hamantash and a candy, or should we keep it to a prize? It's for my grandkids. And if she'll tell me a prize one, I'll do that. But she'll say, no, Mommy, I'm being a strict one, so you can give them the candy, And I want you to remember the 3 R's. The greater the resistance. The greater, the 3 R rule. The greater the external pressure, the more you're going to force and control. 3 R's, resistance, resentment, and rebellion. Many adults eat food because their mother didn't want them. Like they just there's a lot. So you can't really control it or fight it. Some basic rules, the more color in the natural food, not like jellyfish color, but like red, green, yellow, orange, all the different shades of green, the more color there is in the food, the more vitamin content there is in the food. I check the ingredients and whenever it's in the food, the most is the first. So I'll say, okay, it'll say, let's say the package has whole grain crackers. I check the ingredients. First ingredient, white flour. That means bulk of this food is white flour. Second ingredient is corn syrup. Okay, we're going good here. I check the ingredients. What are you feeding your kids? Even a pack of cheese. I check the ingredients, how many grams of protein. Some of the cheese has 17 grams of protein. Some of the cheese has 5 grams of protein. Just know what you're giving the kids to eat. A little bit to check.
What if one of your kids says that they don't like the food and then it affects the other kids?
Right.
So
What?
It's okay if you don't like it, but keep it to yourself.
Ew, disgusting. Yeah, what'd you make that? I don't like this food. Right. I don't want it either. And it's so cultural. My husband's a Rebbe. He says one kid will make a nasty comment and 18 kids will not touch the food. One kid will sit down to a plate of cholent, and everyone will eat it. Food is so social. So I tell myself again and again and again that it's up to Hashem. Because if I try, don't say that, then they're gonna say it faster.
Usually I say good, more for me. And I'll
Good.
But it's we're very
You sure you don't want it? Okay, I'll have it. Right. Do the kids have to eat the food that you make?
No.
That girl is not here tonight. That tough girl? Are you on the computer?
Yes, I'm right here.
Where are you?
I'm home, but I'm here. I hear everything you're saying.
Do they have to eat the food? She's here. Do they have?
You don't eat it, you go to bed hungry. Sorry. But they always eat it. The problem is that they always like their vacuums. So I never
don't have that problem, right? I have absolutely no problem if you want to cook yourself something else. They can have whole wheat bread and cheese. It has to be milchiks if it's milchiks. It has to be fleischiks if it's fleischiks. Peanut butter and bread.
Everything. You don't have to do this again, and maybe eggs or like.
You don't.
If I don't like something,
You have to taste it. First, you have to taste it, right? I don't want to, right. Right. Fleishik phobia. It's a real phobia. This fleishik phobia. My kids, every one of my kids go through a stage like a year where they won't eat fleishik. Just in case, like a middle of the night, someone's going to bring something warm and then they're not going to have it. It's called fleishik phobia and it goes away. It's a stage that does pass.
When does it pass?
And then some of the kids are only my meat eaters, the kids that want like chicken every night, like fresh broiled, like, you know, always like the hot dogs, they want plate chicks, like they just want the meat. So we don't have so much control. There isn't a right answer. That one mommy says you eat it or you starve, great, go for it. You and I can do that. I don't know. You don't like it, honey? You got to taste it. Close your eyes. You have to say, Hashem, please help me like it. You have to daven. And then you put it on your tongue, close your mouth, push it around, try it on. If you don't like it, not my taste, no problem. You can have peanut butter and whole wheat bread. Yeah.
What do you do with a kid that's like so picky? Like my oldest son, like I can't even remember the last time he ate like an apple or a banana. Like he,
Won't touch it.
yeah. Like
You keep on encouraging it. And I just tell my kids, the quicker you get used to it, the better it will be. One of my sisters married a guy that ate 2 food groups, schnitzel and potato knishes, and that was it. And his mother must have sent like to yeshiva or something, like frozen bags with like fried chicken cutlets and potato knishes. I said, you know, then when he's like 25, like he had to get used to other food by his mother-in-law. Like I tell the kids, like, you know, you have to keep on maturing your taste buds and like, oh, that looks interesting. I would love to try it. Anything that grows, I want to try. Like close your eyes, smell it, feel it, taste it. You know, it has an interesting color. That must be a vitamin my body never tried. I wonder how it's good for me. Let's see how I feel with it. That's just how I talk. I wrote here that breakfast should be a high protein meal. It's really not true for everybody. For a lot of your kids, we used to say you don't pack protein. You don't give your kids protein for breakfast. You forgot to pack their brain. You send them to school without their brain. Some of your kids are like that. Some of your kids are not like that. For some of your kids, a bag of grapes in the morning is the best thing that you can do for them. These diets that are only raw with no protein, anybody have an opinion on that? Right.
I don't know if our kid would do well with protein or great.
Some of your kids are like nauseous in the morning. They just can't.
My kids don't want to eat anything.
They don't want any breakfast.
They're too tired.
I just tell them that even one grape starts the motor in the brain. Just like one grape or a cup of water or a cup of juice for some of your kids.
Like forcing my son to eat as a bud, like, oh, and you're not on the bus, and you're saying, one more bite, you can't take one more, like, no, like, of course, you have to, like, have your breakfast.
Right.
They just won't eat breakfast, and they're just like, not hungry.
Right. So I try, I don't beg and I don't force. I encourage it. Some of you kids are malnourished.
Correct?
Yeah.
I don't understand, like, everyone grows up and like gains a ton of weight and goes on diets, like, why are we forcing my kids to eat?
Some of the kids,
Like, my kids are like, stop eating enough, it's like worth eating food, like.
some kids,
Everyone grows up and gets
but
fat.
some kids are very frustrating. They don't behave. They're not having a bowel movement more than once a week because they're not eating. You should know it's a new thing that I actually will respect what she's saying, because if you experience with a grandkid, the kid is not eating. He's cranky, he's tired, he's crying, he's not sleeping, he can't go to the bathroom, he hasn't eaten.
No, but some kids have a small appetite, so
Right.
why are you expecting?
I want you to know, right, they're malnourished. It is a real thing that some kids are underfed. Your kid's stomach is the size of their fist. So keep an eye that one egg is a stunning meal. stunning meal. One egg is a stunning meal. Fat, protein, everything. And I tell myself, I trust that my kids know what their bodies need. I'm going to respect it, but I also trust a mommy that says I'm worried. That's what I learned. So a Shackley, a good a Shackley or just some of your kids do well with a protein drink. Some of the kids won't go near it. Well, I'm going to go to the end, then I'm taking your question. Breakfast, right, good. School snacks. I try to encourage them to eat healthy snacks. The more it gets into it, and it's a good few months in the middle of the winter where the kids are taking healthy snacks, and then they go back. But I try supper. I try to have a lot of fresh. Every vegetable that's in the market is delicious. I try as much as I can. A big variety of fruits and vegetables. You do need a lot of cleaning help to be able to do that. Shabbos party. At different points we do different things. Like sometimes the kids want it, they can have it Shabbos. Sometimes the kids get it Shabbos, I'll buy it from them. Don't make a food fight. That's really the basic thing. Yeah. Here I wrote about some recipes, by the way, which you guys probably don't even need from me. You can bake yummy, healthy treats, and you know how to do this? Like replacing sugar with xylitol. I don't like xylitol anymore. Xylitol I don't love so much anymore. Agave nectar I used for a while. I want to tell you something. At some point, everything is poison. The studies change every few hours. And I remember like when I got my kids off dairy, I was so proud of myself when the pediatrician told me they're gonna all be deficient in vitamin D. Like, what are you doing? I cried. I came home and I gave them all fruit leather. I was like, and then you giving them chicken, and so I was like, do you know the garbage that's in today's chicken? Like, why are you even? Hashem is the one that nourishes our kids, and we just do the best. I want to give good, healthy messages. You eat so well. Look, you know what a bite of that does? You took a one whole wheat pretzel. I love how you take care of yourself. That's really what it is. I was using mashed bananas, apple juice concentrate, applesauce at some point, like all different stuff. There are nuts that are really don't have sugar in them. Go check. There's baked chips. Go try. A lot of the Sephardi recipes are really amazing. This one here is definitely Sephardi. 12 medjool dates with almonds, walnuts, pecans, almond butter. You slice it and you blend it. Like the kids are loving it like chocolate, and then they're done. But I'll do it for a while. Frozen ices, different kind of sherbets. Really, it has a lot to do with modeling good food choices. They really did studies. And they saw that when you pray while you cook, food has more nutritional value. If you're furiously angry that you're cooking and you're cooking healthy food, you make fish sticks and French fries. Frozen fish sticks and French fries might be a more wholesome meal than you aggravated making a vegetable soup. It's okay. If you want to buy, by the way, today you can buy ready-made. I gave you some ideas for meal plans. This is really cute because people really ask me for ideas. I really know that today you know so much about this. Like you don't need this much help. Okay, now you had a question.
Well, for Shabbat, I love to cook, I love to cook, but I cook all these things for Shabbat, and my children don't want to eat any of it, and my mother says you should just make what they like. But I make things and they don't want it, and it's very difficult. I don't know what to do, it's very difficult.
You're making food for Shabbos, right? So I end up eating a lot of the food that I make for Shabbos all week.
No, my children, they don't want to eat it, so I don't know what to do. So like,
What do they want to eat?
they,
Cold cuts, salami.
no, it's just they keep changing. They keep
Yeah.
changing what they like, or they want like certain
How old are they?
3 and 6.
Oh, God. The 6-year-olds can definitely be involved in the cooking. You guys do the same thing that we do. Like these, like we call them dips, like the dips that you make before. What do you call it? No. Come on, there's a word for it.
Oh, you say maza?
Yeah.
That's different.
I'm in the wrong crowd, sorry. Okay. Like these dips, you do the dips before, right? So the dips can be so healthy and delicious. And the kids are in charge of it. They're vegetables. Tomato dip, I was like, well, harif. Yeah, tomatoes, garlic, oil, and the kids they control the whole recipe, the whole thing. Let them be in charge of making a food. It might help. Yes.
Speaking of dips,
Yes.
so in one of my kids' preschools,
Yeah.
all the kids got into school like ketchup crease.
Yeah.
Like, even when they get broccoli,
Mhm.
they'll dip it in like a mountain of ketchup.
Uh-huh.
So even if I don't put it to the table and I'll serve broccoli, they're like, bring out the ketchup, and I'm like, ah.
My kid,
I
right.
want them to eat
They come home from school, red face. What was for lunch? Ketchup. Ketchup. And what else? And ketchup. Right? They won't go through it. And the ketchup is made out of hard, right? You get the Heinz?
No, it's organic.
Heinz, no sugar added.
I get another company. Forgot the name, from right across.
Okay. So, so there's some that's better. You can get ketchup that's there. And tomatoes is great. And then, yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
about this. Okay, let's say you have a kid that really eats okay, like, I like to think that my kids have a healthy relationship with food.
Good.
I model good eating and like.
And I love how
they
you're,
try everything,
right.
like, okay, take one bite, spin it,
And you set boundaries in a really fun way.
And then like,
Good.
this kid gained weight from like looking at food. And then he doesn't do any exercising. So,
How old
like,
is he?
How do you encourage a kid to move his body and exercise? Because it's not.
How old is he?
12.
12. Okay. It can tell you how important it is to look at a kid and not to see their body size. And to be perfectly comfortable with their body size. It's like pikuach nefesh important. I want to hug him, feel the bumps, you feel his rolls, and like breathe and love it. If you were ever fat, it's an opportunity to love you at your fattest. Like it's extremely important. And I always tell the kids, Lions Den makes the cutest husky shirts. Don't worry about it. You can get as big. I really like. I need you not to worry about his body size. You're doing everything you can. You use healthy food in the house. You're role modeling healthy eating. I exercise with the kids. I really try. The rollerblades.
Exercise at 2:00, you told me 2:00.
No, but I try when the kids get home. The weather's getting nicer now. We move with the kids. We do yoga with the kids. They all do headstands on the windowsill. Did I mention I can do a back bend?
What?
Did I mention I can do a back bend? We do back bends. What? I love it. You ever seen my back? I really do back bends. It's so cool. I love it. What? I am like the biggest yogi in town and I love it. It's like no one should pick up that stuff. I love to bend down and pick up that stuff. I can bend down without bending my knees. I can go all the way to the floor. I can go to my elbows. I'm good at this. But I practice a lot of good moving and I talk about it a lot. We dance a lot in the house. I let the kids rollerblade in the house all the time. They barely wear shoes. Yes.
An idea to make exercise
Yes.
fun is that during lockdown, I was like, what we do, this is before we like, without doing homework, and we were just like bored out of our minds, and didn't know what to do. So we watched that like FOB Persian guy video from like the 70s, and my kids who don't speak a word of Persian were doing these like Persian dances, and it was just a way to move and dance and not feel like we're exercising, and it was hysterical. Like, it's just fun, like do silly workouts, because I do that too.
But also just the like you cannot carry your kids' weight or even worry about trying to figure it out. It comes like 13, 14, 15, and they just, you're like, I love you, you're perfect the way you are, you're not comfortable the way you look. It's very painful to not be comfortable with your weight. Let's see what we can do about it. Let's look for some solutions. And then they go from one craze to the other until they figure it out. Yes.
So I have like the total opposite problem, like all my kids are like literally like bones.
Yeah.
They won't eat like if I don't force them. Like I literally have to like tell them like eat like 3 bites of food. Like with one of my kids I have to do this and I'll give you chocolate. So like now like when he eats something, he's like, okay, I ate, I have to have a cookie now or something like that. So like I don't know what to do. Like it's
His
like,
eating is better already?
I mean, it's not great, but like now he thinks like, oh, I ate, now I have to have.
A lot of adults eat like that. They always need something sweet at the end.
So it's okay.
I think if it's healthy, it's okay.
Yeah, okay.
Or
like, I'll make, like-
because you say you shouldn't work on food. But it works for me, like if you eat your whole plate, I'll give you like dried mango after.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. When they don't eat them and they eat the whole plate, but at least they have 3 bites, I'm happy with that.
Yeah. Not having an appetite is something's missing in nutritionally. You know that, right?
I mean, they have, like, if I don't feed them, they'll eat like garbage.
Right.
Like they'll eat. like-
Trying not to have garbage options in the house.
Right, I always try not to, but like with this.
Right, it happens, right.
Do you think that it's important to like talk to like the school, other parents, like a community of like healthy eating, or like don't even bother? Like, would you do that?
Especially for the girls' schools, I feel like they're like.
You know, I want to tell you something, mothers in the, between the ages of 20 and 30, like, don't get destroyed for my skepticism, please. I did it. Between the ages of 20 and 30, you're going to try to change the world. And it's amazing. By the time you get to 30, like, you kind of just give in. Like, it's just like that. And I did 20 to 30. I worked really hard and I love what I did. And go ahead and do it at the next level. I think it's important to educate the school to request, but if it's not causing you a terrible amount of stress. Because I do believe that like everyone's getting a little better. Everyone's getting grown. We are getting much better. I mean, the rabbi used to give M&Ms, we call them, yeah? Like this, in there, and like, they're not doing it like that anymore. Things have, you know, the rabbis were smoking in the faces of our kids for years. It's not there anymore. It's over. Like, it took like an extra after the public schools made it like illegal to smoke for teachers to smoke in the classrooms. It took like another 40 years until
Candy's never gonna.
No, not candy, like every day is like a birthday, or a party, a mother had a baby, or like
Yeah.
it's Purim, it's like a cupcake, a food coloring.
I think it's really good. My husband is a Rebbe, and like if there's like an extra slice of cake or something, says anyone's gonna eat, I say, okay, great. That he's gonna make a goyrel, a raffle. The kids, no one moves all day for the Rebbe's raffle. They're gonna, like, that last slice of cake in my house that no one's gonna eat. He's gonna raffle off at the end of the day.
You know what it is, like my kids don't ask for junk.
Right.
Like the schools, like giving it to them, it's like they don't care, like they don't care for, but like it's there, they're gonna eat it. It's like they don't need it. Like,
You were saying the school is not working with you. They're thinking that you're crazy about the celiac.
No,
Let's
this
say,
is
right?
another school that I was in.
Why don't we
The
instead do
teacher, no, because the teacher asked medically, is she allergic to it? And I said, no. Basically, I took my child to like a natural.
Right,
So
right.
they were like, oh, they have, basically we shouldn't eat these foods and it'll like help them like spur their growth or whatever.
So I find it very, very hard when it comes to these natural things because it's not black or white. The school can handle, if you eat peanut butter, the kid will die. Like, it's not a joke, right? Then they won't give the kid peanut butter. But I'm trying to avoid it the least possible. I don't get the school involved. I just work with a kid. And I keep it like that, yeah.
So yeah, I tried that only candy on Shabbat.
Yeah.
And for the most part, like my boys are really good about it, but let's say no break, let's say I'm gonna candy on and is it a food bite? I say no, only on Shabbat.
I love it. Look how she's saying it. No, candy is for Shabbos. Great.
That's fine.
If the kid is sneaking it, if you don't fight past that. Yeah, yeah. Okay, you tell me first. You go first, we'll go after.
Is it terrible if my daughter's very into like food, she's big food,
Yeah.
and I always want it myself. She's like tonight, for example, she's like, Mom, you had so little of me, have more, why don't you have more? Is it bad that I don't have more in front of her? Like,
Just say my body, no, it was delicious. My body's saying enough. I'm respecting my body. But I love it that you care so much about me. Yeah. Yeah,
I have one kid that I think the same kid that has like a health issue or whatever.
yeah.
How's it going, but like whenever we wanted, she's like, I'm gonna go time.
Aw.
Let's go. And then she names all these food places. She's like, we'll start here, go there. And
Aw.
I'm like, don't you want to do an activity? She's like, wait, but it's so yummy. Or like, and
Food
now-
isn't food so yummy? Look how much Hashem loves us. Let's choose a little bit. Yeah.
That I remember, how do I retrack or like fix my like lifetime of rewarding them with food? It's always been like that's
And you should know that it says the Gemara speaks about rewarding your kids with food. it's,
My son in third grade, like he had his Mishnah play
Right.
2 weeks ago, and now like he goes to shul, I sleep from an argument with my husband, and they'll learn together, and then they'll go for 7-Eleven Slurpees, and then come home.
right.
And like, he feels so good about himself, like, I went to my car date, and I learned, and now I get Slurpees. It's our way.
I mean, look, it's gonna be Purim, right? We're gonna fast, and then there's gonna be Megillah, and then we're gonna have party. Like, that's how Hashem made it. And to me, the hardest part of hearing your question, and I've heard this question from you a few times, is how do I fix a lifetime of? So that's what we have to clean up, because that's a complete lack of any kind of faith. And no guilt. Every time you feel guilty, just get that look in my eye. Right? I will yell at myself in the middle of my sleep. Cut it out. Shh. I don't let it's not kosher. Like if you imagine yourself being married to another man, like I don't like just like in your head, like think the worst thing. That guilty voice is the most toxic Slurpee you will ever swallow. There's nothing more poisonous than saying to yourself, everything was exactly what Hashem wanted. Today, you know something new. You're gonna try something new. The best, healthiest eaters don't come from the healthiest home. We're gonna just try. Yeah.
What is fish? Is it the same fish as sister? What is chicken? If they wanna know, and then
Like, ew, I'm gonna eat this thing and it was walking around.
they're very sensitive about it.
Is it sweet? Right, but I'm gonna say, I say this was a fish that Hashem created from before the world was made. You know, for who? For you, Yaakov, so that you can eat him B'Kavod Shabbos. You're gonna eat this fish, and all the fat from the fish is gonna go into your brain, and you're gonna learn more Torah from it. These animals were created for you to eat. If you don't eat them, the purpose of what they're on this world for is not going to be here. So you're not hurting the fish by eating it. You're hurting the fish by not eating it. Okay. I'll see you all next week. She's saying, Ariela's saying that she can't come Monday. Can we do it Sunday?
I don't care. Some moms said if we could do it after Purim.
I agree.
That Purim and next
Yeah.
week is